This week on ATV News, the U.S. has a new Supreme Court justice, a new Pepsi ad featuring Kendal Jenner causes controversy, and ZBT plans a carnival on the quad. I'm Tony Peak.
And I'm Savannah McCann.
ATV News starts now. Here at AU, we all remember that tough time of applying to schools and the dreaded wait time we go through before we have any news as to what schools we were accepted to. One New Jersey teen has a huge decision to make. Ephioma Whitethorpe got accepted into all 8 Ivy League schools. Whitethorpe, an accomplished student and president of the Morris Hills High School in Rockaway, New Jersey, couldn't believe that she had been accepted to all 8. Whitethorpe, who aspires to pursue a career in global health, said she applied to all 8 because each school has a top-tier research facility. Congratulations to her. Let's hope she makes the right decision for her, where she will be happiest for the next 4 years.
5 members of the U.S. women's national team filed a federal complaint against the U.S. Soccer in March of 2016. The complaint, submitted by big-name players like Alex Morgan, Hope Solo, and Carly Lloyd, charged U.S. Soccer with wage discrimination. The women's team brought in almost $20 million in revenue. However, they only received $2 million for winning the World Cup. This compares to the Germany's men's team that received $35 million for winning the World Cup in 2014. The women's team is now celebrating a new victory, better pay and benefits. For the latest in entertainment news, let's go to Mawal Sidi.
Thanks, Savannah. I'm Mawal Sidi with this week's entertainment report. Hollywood legend Don Rickles passed away at the age of 90. Rickles was in the industry for over 60 years and garnered a reputation for his insulting stand-ups. He often poked fun at one of his biggest fans, Frank Sinatra, and he appeared multiple times on Johnny Carson's The Tonight Show. He made his acting debut in the 1958 movie Run Silent, Run Deep. In 1995, he joined the Toy Story franchise as Mr. Potato Head. Many celebrities such as Tom Hanks and Whoopi Goldberg honored the legend on Twitter. From an unforgettable legend to an ad Pepsi host we could all forget. The company received massive backlash over an insensitive ad featuring Kendal Jenner. Jenner is shown walking through a protest to hand a police officer a can of Pepsi. The next scene shows the crowd celebrating and hugging one another. Many said Pepsi was making light of police brutality while also trivializing groups such as Black Lives Matter. Even Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughter, Bernice King, spoke out against the ad. After a day of intense criticism both off and online, Pepsi removed the ad and apologized for, quote, missing the mark. Let the wedding bells ring. WWE superstar John Cena proposed to fellow wrestler Nikki Bella. Cena popped the question during WrestleMania after the pair won a tag team match against The Miz and Maurice. The couple has been together for 4.5 years, and fittingly enough, Cena proposed with a 4.5-carat diamond ring from Tiffany's. Not a bad way to end a wrestling match. That's it for entertainment news. I'm Mawal Sidi. Back to Tony and Savannah at the studio.
Thanks, Mawal.
You know, Savannah, I think, we can sit here and we can talk about the Pepsi ad featuring Kendal Jenner, but I feel like a lot of people and media outlets have already done that. Mm-hmm. Pepsi has pulled the ad. They've apologized for anyone that was offended by it. But I just have to say, I am so happy for John Cena and Nikki Bella. I mean, I love watching WWE. I've watched their Nikki Bella's reality show. And just to see that he finally sees her as worthy of taking this next step in their relationship, because,
Right, for years he said that he wasn't going to get married. That was just something that wasn't in the cards for him. And now to see that he proposed and that they're going to start this new chapter of their life together is so exciting.
And I think it's very timely, too, because she needs to take more time to heal her neck that was previously injured. And I think that now she has this time to heal and focus on her wedding and just the next chapter of their lives.
Exactly.
So congratulations to them. I know I love to take a good selfie now and then, but what lengths would you go to get the perfect shot? One woman in California was airlifted to a hospital after suffering a gash in her arm and multiple bone fractures, which she ultimately left her unconscious after she fell 60 feet off the Forest Hill Bridge in California, which also happens to be the highest bridge in the state. It is said that the woman and her friends were attempting to take a picture when she lost balance on one of the exposed bolts and fell. Police are patrolling the underbelly of the bridge, where more and more people, including this woman, are risking it all to get the perfect selfie. I love a good selfie, but that just seems a little too extreme for me. Now let's go to politics with Corey Flax.
Thanks, Tony. I'm Corey Flax with this week's political update. On Friday, the Senate confirmed Judge Neil Gorsuch as the 113th judge to the United States Supreme Court by a vote of 54 to 45. This vote caused controversy in the Senate. Republican leadership pursued the nuclear option, eliminating the filibuster for Supreme Court nominees. This change came as there was significant Democratic opposition to the Gorsuch nomination. Many of those opposed not only disagreed with Gorsuch's rulings during his time on the United States Court of Appeals, but also wanted justice for President Obama's nominee, Merrick Garland, who did not even receive a hearing. This is not the first time the Senate has gone nuclear. In 2013, Democratic leadership made changes which required a simple majority for nominations of executive appointments and lower court judicial nominees. President Donald Trump removed his chief strategist, Steve Bannon, from his National Security Council. Trump received criticism from Democrats and Republicans after naming the former chairman of Breitbart News to the NSC. Many people in Washington believe that Bannon's removal from the NSC is a result of the strong influence of Ivanka Trump, President Trump's daughter and newest West Wing advisor. Sources close to the president said that Bannon threatened to resign from his White House position if removed from the NSC, but has yet to do so. One of Fox News' high-profile employees is in hot water regarding sexual harassment. According to a New York Times report earlier this week, host of the network's 8 p.m. show, The O'Reilly Factor, Bill O'Reilly, paid $13 million to settle sexual harassment suits from 5 different women. 20 companies pulled advertisements from The O'Reilly Factor, leaving the future of the talk show in jeopardy. President Trump defended O'Reilly this week, saying that he was a good guy, did nothing wrong, and should not have settled the lawsuits. This announcement comes just a few months after former chairman and CEO of Fox News, Roger Ailes, was forced to resign after multiple complaints surfaced of sexual harassment against him by numerous high-ranking Fox News employees. For ATV Politics, I'm Corey Flax. Back to Tony and Savannah at the desk.
Thanks, Corey. So Savannah, I can't believe, Neil Gorsuch has finally been passed by the Senate. It's been a very long road. There's been a lot of Democratic opposition, hence why they had to use the nuclear option. That was very, very, historic that had to be used. So
right. It's so interesting to see how this has taken so long and now to see what's going to happen next because we just don't know.
We'll just have to wait and see.
If you're looking to see a new movie, Shia LaBeouf's Man Down has tickets available. The war thriller premiered over the weekend in just one UK theater and grossed around $9. That is the equivalent to one movie ticket. This movie was supposed to be LaBeouf's big comeback from his recent alcohol-related arrests.
Now we go to sports with Kate Ivey.
Thanks, Tony. I'm Kate Ivey, and here's what's happening in sports. Tony Romo, the Dallas Cowboys' former quarterback, was released from the Cowboys on Tuesday, April 4th. He is going on to pursue his broadcasting career by replacing Phil Simms. He will be CBS's top game analyst along with Jim Nantz. However, Mike Freeman of Bleacher Report added that almost everyone he has spoken to believes Romo's football career is not over and that he will play in the future. Moving to the NBA, the Washington Wizards beat the New York Knicks 106-103 on Thursday, April 6th. Bradley Beal of the Wizards sealed the win with 25 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. In his 25 points, he scored the tie-breaking three-pointer to help beat the Knicks. The MLB team, the Chicago Cubs, beat the St. Louis Cardinals 6-4 on Thursday, April 6th. The Cardinals catcher, Yadier Molina, and most of the fans in attendance at Busch Stadium laughed when the ball somehow got stuck to his chest protector in plain view of everyone except him. Even though this incident was comical, the St. Louis Star didn't laugh when he asked if a foreign substance helped the ball stick. This play allowed the Cubs to take the lead, which they held onto for the victory over St. Louis. American University's 2014 graduate, Shelley Montgomery, is the new assistant coach for women's field hockey. She was on the team throughout her undergraduate years at American and couldn't be happier to be back. She stated, quote, "I am excited to be back at AU and to be a part of a team and coaching staff that is committed to excellence on and off the field," end quote. AU can't wait to see what she will bring to the team. For sports, I'm Kate Ivey. Back to Tony and Savannah in the studio.
Thanks, Kate. It's sad to see Tony Romo leave the Dallas Cowboys, but at the end of the day, he's had so many injuries, and I think that just over time, your body just can't take anymore. And I think that he should just stick to, a broadcasting job right off the field and still be able to comment on football.
Exactly. This is a way for him to still be involved in football without the risk of another injury, which could really hurt him more than just not being able to play football in the future for the rest of his life.
It'll be interesting to see whether or not these rumors of him not being done with football, if they actually, come to fruition, but I think he should just stick to this new gig off the field. I think he'll be good.
Me too.
A new report by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention states that now more than 1 in 5 American adults suffer from the cancer-causing HPV human papillomavirus. The report released Thursday states that more than 80 million Americans are infected with some strain of HPV, with ages spanning 18 to 59. Oral and genital HPV happens to be the most common sexually transmitted infection in the U.S., and this report is speaking mostly to those who haven't received the vaccine. HPV can result in consequences that go from low to high risk, which can result in cancer in various parts of the body. The study aims to highlight the surprising number of people who actually had cancer-causing genital HPV and hopes to bring awareness to this ever-spreading virus. There are vaccines out there for a reason, and the Center for Disease Control and Prevention suggests that you should receive 2 to 3 shots, either 6 to 12 months apart, depending on age and gender. Let's hope that the number of infected people starts to go down sooner rather than later.
The NCAA lifted its ban on holding events in North Carolina earlier this week. The ban was put in place last year when North Carolina passed the bathroom bill, which stated that transgender people have to use the bathroom that has the sex assigned to them at birth. This NCAA ban caused many North Carolina businesses to lose money, a projected $1 billion in the next 12 years. The ban lift is not as great as it seems, as lawmakers made a policy that says local governments cannot enter any new laws to protect the LGBTQ community from any discrimination until 2020.
For this week's finance report, we turn to Reedy Sarkar.
Thanks, Tony. I'm Reedy Sarkar with this week's finance report. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics released a report on Friday that shows that the unemployment rate has declined from 4.7% to 4.5% in March. Total non-farm payroll employment increased by 98,000. In fact, over the past 12 months, the number of long-term unemployed has been down by 526,000. The report shows that employment has gone up in mining and professional and business services, while the retail sector has lost jobs as some brands have closed stores at a fast pace. On Tuesday, the Payless Inc. shoe chain filed for bankruptcy and said it will shut down hundreds of locations. And Ralph Lauren Corporation announced it will close its flagship Polo store on Fifth Avenue. According to the report, retailers cut about 30,000 positions in March, the same total as in February. Meanwhile, there has been an increase in hiring in the manufacturing sector since Donald Trump was elected president. The U.S. added 26,000 factory jobs in February and 11,000 in March. It's important to note that employment in manufacturing is currently at 1940s levels. According to a recent survey by the National Association of Manufacturers, 93% of its 14,000 members have a positive outlook for U.S. manufacturing. This is the highest level of optimism in 20 years. We will, of course, keep a close watch on employment numbers in the coming weeks to see if the upward trend continues. That does it for This Week in Finance. I'm Reedy Sarkar for ATV News. Now back to Tony and Savannah in the studio.
Thanks, Reedy. Savannah, it's so interesting to see how many cuts are going on in the retail sector of the economy right now. Just for Ralph Lauren having to close his Polo flagship store on Fifth Ave, that is major.
Exactly, and with the Payless shoe company closing a bunch of stores, that's a lot of people are going to be losing their jobs that work there, people in the factory, so it's going to be very interesting.
I would love to know why retail in particular is suffering this much. I feel like it's just so interesting right now. Now let's see what's happening around the world with Max Abokakol.
Thanks, Tony. I'm Max Abokakol. This week in world news, we again turn to Syria, where on Tuesday, Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad was accused of conducting chemical attacks against his own people in the ongoing Syrian civil war. The attacks on Tuesday left 86 people killed, including 26 children. The victims were exposed to dangerous chemical known as sarin, a chemical which is a man-made nerve agent, which causes torturous pain, violent convulsions, and paralysis. The chemical can cause death within 10 minutes. While the U.S., the EU, and the United Kingdom have all condemned this attack, the Assad regime has denied responsibility. With the backing of Russia, the Assad regime has instead made claims that suggest that a Syrian airstrike had hit a terrorist warehouse containing an arsenal of toxic substances, destined for fighters in Iraq. The Assad regime back in 2013 in a UN resolution promised and signed a treaty guaranteeing the destruction of their chemical weapons arsenal after a previous chemical attack in Damascus killed hundreds in the same year. Nothing was done in response to this attack until Thursday, when President Trump from his Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach, Florida, ordered the launch of 59 Tomahawk missiles at the Al-Sharat airfield, where it seemed that the chemical attacks had come from. In a statement following the attack, the president had this to say: "It is in the vital national security interest of the United States to prevent and deter the spread and use of deadly chemical weapons. We pray for the lives of the wounded and the souls of those who have passed, and we hope that as long as America stands for justice, then peace and harmony will prevail." That's it for World News. Back to Tony and Savannah at the desk.
Thanks, Max. Just what's going on in Syria, it's so serious, it's so sad. But what's interesting, though, is that I've been seeing a lot of reports questioning as to the mindset of President Trump as to why he decided to go in Syria. Everybody was saying that he saw these very, very disturbing images of young children and, dying these slow deaths, and he, apparently it just pulled on his heartstrings, and he felt that he had to do something. I mean, I think we all were prepared for something like this to happen, but I would love to know the mindset as to really why we are in Syria right now.
Exactly, especially because it's such a serious decision that has so many impacts that we don't even know about yet.
So we will just have to wait and see just the next attack, if there is going to be one. We'll keep you posted.
Many people are exchanging their cable subscriptions and choosing streaming services like Hulu, Netflix, and Amazon. Amazon is slowly taking over the TV world. This week, the company signed a $50 million deal with the NFL to live stream games all season long. The games will be available to Amazon Prime members, which is causing many people to buy a subscription. Cable companies are starting to worry since sports are a main reason that people are keeping cable around. Twitter was in a bidding war with Amazon to get the streaming rights and called the loss a potentially fatal hole. Other companies like YouTube and Facebook are struggling to keep up with the growing number of Amazon users. And now for our weather report, let's go to Juliana Sachs.
Thanks, Savannah. I'm Juliana Sachs with your weekly weather forecast. Last week, we got a summer preview with temperatures in the high 70s and low 80s. This week, we can say hello to more of those warm temperatures and goodbye to those rainstorms. Monday and Tuesday, the high will be 81 degrees and 84 degrees, with lows of 50 and 57. It will start to cool down towards the end of the week with temperatures in the high 40s and high 60s. The forecast shows that it will be partly cloudy all week, keeping you nice and cool despite warmer temperatures. Friday, it will be a beautiful spring day with temperatures between 47 and 65 degrees with almost no clouds. Perfect weather for leaving work early and enjoying a drink outdoors. With your weekly forecast, I'm Juliana Sachs. Back to Tony and Savannah in the studio.
Thanks, Juliana. I'm so excited for these warm weathers to start coming up over winter, over the rainstorms.
I am over it. We have had some nice days lately, and I just want to keep that going. It was painful to break out my big jacket and wear that after I was wearing practically like shorts the other day. It was so beautiful, and I just want to keep that going.
The weather just keeps going back.
Summer vibes, spring vibes. Let's keep it going. The city of St. Louis says goodbye to a fourth person after a boiler explosion in a factory which housed the Lange Box Company. The incident took place Monday, where the first explosion scattered debris across several buildings. The initial impact killed one person, but since then 3 more deaths were reported as a result of injury complications and building damages. The cause of the explosion is still unknown, but it is under investigation. Our hearts go out to those families in mourning. For the latest in campus news, we turn to Emily Lytle.
Thanks, Tony. I'm Emily Lytle, and this is What's Up AU. What do AU students and Washingtonians have in common? They both enjoy free stuff. On Thursday, April 13th, the National Portrait Gallery is hosting their monthly free trivia night. In honor of Earth Day on the 22nd, the theme is all things environmental. Then, on Saturday, April 15th, the Kennedy Center is hosting Millennium Stage, a series of free performances. Millennium Stage performs daily, but Saturday's performance is honoring late folk singer and activist Pete Seeger. Seats will start filling up at 5 p.m. on Saturday. This concert is an opportunity to enjoy local DC music in the renowned Kennedy Center. Oh, and remember, it's free. For upcoming events on campus, are you ready to party? Join Zeta Beta Tau and the AU Wellness Center this Wednesday for their Right to Party Carnival on the Quad. From 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., there will be a dunk tank, bounce house, food, and free stuff from consent-based organizations. The event aims to teach people about consent and raise money for the organization Network for Victim Recovery of DC. So whether you want to break out your U-Pass or take it easy on campus, there's plenty of free events to check out this week. That's all for What's Up AU. I'm Emily Lytle. Back to Tony and Savannah at the desk.
Thanks, Emily.
Did you hear the great news? AU dance team and cheer team went to nationals this week, where dance placed 4th and cheer made it to finals for the first time.
I am so happy for them. A lot of the girls on the team I've known since my freshman year. I was actually on the AU dance team my freshman year, and I remember competing at nationals was my favorite time being on the team. And these girls work extremely hard, I know from experience, and the fact that they placed 4th is just amazing. So congratulations to cheer and dance, the Chance team. We love you all, and we're just so happy for you.
Congratulations. And that's it for ATV News this week. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. I'm Savannah McCann.
And I'm Tony Peak. Thanks for watching. And this is my last broadcast, and I just want to say thank you to everybody that has watched. And I'm just so happy that I was able to be a part of it. So, love you all.